Hello everyone, I'm Steven Snakehook and Lindsey here, and today I'm going to be telling you how to create your own simple handgun, which is what we're going to do right here. This is our finished product. So as you can see, there's a big difference between the one that's available over at Stripgenerator and the one we're going to make. Now, don't let this be imposing to you because it's really not all that hard. And in fact, we're going to be doing some more difficult ones later on, such as these, for example, which are a more advanced version of this exact one. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly put this away, make it small so it'll be there throughout the entire thing to show our finished product. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a black square. That's going to be our starting one. Now, I'm going to say this right now as I am stretching this out to what I want. If I talk fast throughout this entire thing, please just stop the video and do the pieces as you need to, because I gotta do this in under 10 minutes. I can do this entire thing in under 10 minutes just doing it by myself, but trying to explain it to you and going through all the details, that may not take 10 minutes to do. So we have our black square in the position we want. Copy it, we're gonna invert it to white, paste it, put it over it, and make sure our guidelines are on, and make sure we don't see any black residue from our black square underneath it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change opacity to 23. So we need a tier shape now, which is this one right here. I'm probably expecting that the entire body is probably going to be too big by the end of the thing, so we might have to edit it. So let's put it over here, because we need to make sure it's at the end of our square. So we need to do this, copy, duplicate, invert, whatever you want to call it. And of course, change the opacity to 23 like our other one. So there we go. Or is it a little bit too dark? Yeah, it's a little bit too dark. So, 23. So now we're going to have an extruded barrel. Now, as all of this is more a template than an actual thing that I say, oh, this is the only thing you can do with this, you can change it up. You don't need an extruded barrel. I just happen to like having extruded barrels because it looks a little neat. Also, all the colors are optional. You can have red, for example, or a blue gun, or a lighter gray. So now we have our extruded barrel. It looks about right. So next we're going to do is add the line separating the top of the handgun from the bottom of the handgun. So we're going to draw it out and all that. Put it down a little. That looks about right. So we're going to add our rear sights now. So we add a black square, make it smaller. Does that look about right? Yeah, that looks about right. Also, if anyone can tell if I'm kind of sounding out of it or bored or all that, the truth of the matter is I've probably done this about 20 or so times now, and either my microphone likes to go out or something likes to go wrong. So I've been doing this several times, and boy am I tired. So we created our rear sights, we copied that to create our front sights. And the last thing we're going to do for this base is create our ejection port. So what we're going to do is get a black square, put it up here, stretch it out. That looks probably close to it. Change it to white, put a blur on it, and lower it down to about in the 20s. So that looks about right. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a black square down here, which you're probably guessing right. We're going to change it and make it the gray that all the other parts are. So add it, change the shape as needed until it looks right or just feels right. So that looks about right. If anything, we can change the size and all that. So we've been doing what we've just been doing for all the time. Duplicate, invert, opacity 23. So we're going to add a wooden handle to it. So we're going to get our blue color, invert it to make it brown. And again, if you want to have a different color for this handle, you could, of course. You could have red or blue or whatever color you feel is appropriate. So let's just get a little bit bigger and all that. So that looks about right. So what we're going to do is for our trigger guard and our trigger itself. So go through, we get this item, turn it around, put it up against the handle, and we're going to go into the actual body of the gun. So make it a little bit longer. And yeah, that looks right. And you should know by now how to do all this, because we've been doing it throughout this entire tutorial. So take it down to 23. Send it to the back. Then we're going to do our trigger. Now your trigger could be black if you really want to, or it could be a different gray. But I'm keeping it the same gray as the rest of the gun because I have the ability to do that. So we're going to stretch it out till it looks about that. Pull it up some. We'll do our favorite thing we've been doing throughout this entire video. And let's see. 23. Not 22, not 24, 23. There we go. So I think the entire body of the gun looks a little bit too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it a little bit smaller. It's easy to edit. So just pull down this. Actually, it might be a little bit too small now, but I think it's getting a little bit too late in the video to keep editing everything. No, I want you to go up some. Then this is too long now. Don't worry, all this is easy to edit, so it's not a real big problem. So we're going to pull this down. Yeah, that looks about right. Maybe the handle's a little bit too small now. It needs to be back up some. So there we go. We have a simple little handgun. As I just showed, you could easily just change this around. Like I said earlier, you can change colors if you want to. Maybe you want a red handgun to make it a little bit spicier and make it unique. Maybe you want a gun that has a really small frame, but it has a very long extruding barrel, so it looks something like this. So maybe that's something you would like to have, to create, just going off that basic template I told you. There's different ways you could probably just change around. It's all about just having fun, or at least anything. You have your own little gun right now. Now, I will say I have my own guns. If you want to be my friends, it's not that hard. All you have to do is request a friend request. You can get guns like this from me. What else do I have shared that are guns? Have these, Tommy gun, shotgun, and of course we have Springfield and the pistol again. So if you want to be my friends, you can get those guns. Now you can make your own guns, so you don't have to exactly require on me if something happens. And hopefully this has helped you out, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Our next tutorial is going to be about creating your own characters and my style of creating characters, because we all have different styles over there on Stripgenerator. So this is just my way of doing it. It's not really realistical. It's more closely related to the ones that Stripgenerator has by default. But since you're creating your own characters and it's not the character creator, it's a little more personal, I suppose, than just those random ones you can create or just choose at random. So we'll do that in our next one. Hope you had fun with this one. Also remember, if you like my tutorials and you want to be up to date to them, just simply subscribe. It only takes one click. If you do like this video, please rate, comment, fave, tell your friends, tell everyone that uses Stripgenerator, because it helps to bump up my video on the search engines. So if someone needs this video, that's where they can easily find it a lot easier.